Hello everyone, my name is Matthew here with Custom Built. Thank you for watching. We got a special video today. We have this Kobe Bryant. It's a 1998-1999 SkyBox EX2000 Century acetate, and we have 6 of them to grade today. So I've already been kind of heavily looking at these. We've also graded one before in the past, and it is a special card. It's obviously Kobe. It's a big year for him, but it's a sought after card. In addition to being an acetate, you can kind of see through it there. It is rising in value. So I reached out to a eBayer, and I'm starting to develop a good relationship with him. He's a good person, and he's got a bit of a boxing background. Friends with Mike Tyson. I was like, "Oh, you met Mike Tyson?" He's like, "I'm friends with Mike Tyson." I'm like, well, "Okay." I was like, "I met Muhammad Ali." He's like, "Mike Tyson comes to my house." I'm like, "All right, it's different." So he sold me this lot and gave me a decent price on it. And now we're going to grade each of these cards. We're going to put them up on the eBay channel. But quick disclaimer. All the grades for all 6 cards, every card we do, the grades are not guaranteed to cross over to other grading companies. They're not guaranteed to increase or decrease the monetary value of the card. They're sold as raw. They're put into a Zion case. Zion case that has a magnetic top. And we basically put a custom label on it. We give our best assessment at the condition of the card. These cards, these 6, will be from 168. This card will be number 168. The next card will be 169, 170, and so forth till 173. So when we're done with these 6, they will be 173 cards that I've graded. But I think it's really important for me to get better at these kind of specific cards. Even when I graded the last one, I started to hold it up at the light at a different angle to be able to see through it and see any imperfections. So you will see me take it off camera, certain shots, to kind of look up at we have a bright light to the right of me. And that's really helping me find flaws to it. These cards are also kind of difficult because there's a bit of, it's like an emboss, like there's an elevation to the player and the letters. So, and even that like purple kind of, there's certain parts of this card that's elevated off of this acetate kind of plastic. I don't know if it's plastic, if it's what material they use. It's very unique. So, I'll try to remind myself to kind of say, like, this first card's in 168. I'll try to remind each of the cards that we review will have a number to them. And then if you're watching this video, if you're wanting to go and purchase one of these later on eBay, you'll say, okay, I want number X, Y, or Z. And yeah, it's an interesting way of getting better at grading. That's really one of my core things here is like when I take the same card and grade it multiple times, I'm more detailed with the assessment. And I think that it comes out with better ratings overall. So let's get into it. Number 168, Kobe Bryant. Here we go. And I don't know if all these cards have a yellow tint to them. I don't know if some are clear. I know that there is more rare versions of these. I think this is more of the base version. But I have seen some different tint and color to them. This appears to have a bit of like a yellow tint. You can kind of see there. But yeah, like if there's anything on the card, we will try to work on it. But like the leg right here, and I will try not to add any fingerprints to it. We can kind of see a bit of that leg. So yeah, if I take it off camera, I'm basically just going to kind of clean it up a little bit. Let's see if that took care of those. Took care of the edges, but there's still like a bit of a dot on his, which leg is that? In our view, it is the left leg. So yeah, if that is just a piece of debris, we can remove it. That's great. If it's not, we'll have to just mark down our surface by a bit. Let's see. So it looks like that will be a bit of like a small surface flaw. I have a way to remove these small pieces of, again, I don't know if this is plastic or what this material is. Cool, yeah. So these surfaces are probably going to be where we have a little bit of what I would say issues to them. You can kind of see that leg has a dot. There's a bit of, I don't know if that is just a piece of debris between the legs here. Kind of see a small micro scratch on the right leg, and then, so yeah, just some like imperfections on the surface of the card basically is what I have seen. But yeah, I'm going to hold it up to the light and see if I see any other micro scratches through the acetate. I see about 2 right now. I think there was a scratch on the leg, a dot on the leg, and then possibly a bit of imperfections in between the legs there. So there's a bit of some imperfections on the surface. And we're going to find all different kinds of pros and cons of these cards. For 168, the surface we're going to give an 8 to. Okay. So now we'll take a look at corners and edges for 168. Corner's pretty good. Very clean. This edge here might be a piece of debris. Let's see. Yeah, that was a piece of debris. Corner's like a little imperfect, a little bit. I have an imperfection here on this corner. And these corners are a little bit harder to grade because they're not the traditional corners. But I'm going to do a 9 on these corners for 168. A 9. Oh, edges next. Edges look clean. Like I said, we just cleaned a piece of debris off of that one edge. Clean. Clean. Very nice. And actually, the edges, that's a great view right there. So you can kind of see a bit of that emboss elevation to the player. So yeah, that's actually a really nice view at the elevation and the edges. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. Like this card, I think the edges is probably going to be where other grading companies are going to be very more strict on the grade. But honestly, I feel like the edges on this player is pretty clean. We had some area that we cleaned up earlier, but edges I'm going to give a 9.5 to. Centering. So the centering on this card, I've looked at and cross-referenced it several times using this bottom logo, the distance from the right to the bottom. That's very symmetrical. I like that a lot. Do we have really any other anchor points? Not really. You could kind of like go from the top or the point of that B the amount of space, or yeah, amount of distance from the top of that B down to the bottom of the SkyBox, that's symmetrical. So I'm going to go 9.5 on centering. So for 168, we have two 9.5s and then a 9 and an 8. And between the 9 and the 8, that averages out to an 8.5. And between a 9.5 and an 8.5, that averages out to a 9. So now the next question is this a 9 or a 9.5? And since we do have that speck on the leg and a bit of some scratches, I'm going to go with a 9 on this card. That's a 168. That is our first of 6. All right. So here comes 169. And they will start to feel very similar, but we will try to find any differences or any imperfections to them as we go. This will be a little bit longer video, so popcorn, enjoy yourself, put it up on a bigger screen. If you are a big fan of these cards, just sit back, relax. Kobe Bryant, definitely a good player to invest in over time. If you're from the Los Angeles, California, West Coast region and you grew up around this time, Kobe's definitely one of the more sought after players. Currently we're in the NBA Finals, and then you have the New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs. A lot of excitement in that finals. New York Knicks are up 2-0. I probably should have invested more in a lot of these New York Knicks players. They're doing incredible right now. But let's take a look at this. So I have about a fingerprint here I probably need to work on. But let's take a look at the centering. So the centering, again, I'm probably going to go 9.5 on 169. And you can kind of also measure that distance from the logo to the edge of the card and then the century. So I think, yeah, it feels really close. And it actually looks really close to the previous one. Next up, let's take a look at the edges. I liked how we took a look at the last card's edges. So you can kind of see a little bit of around that leg area. Let's see if it is easy to remove. Perfect. Really nice edges. Really nice. Kind of see an angle here, a little bit there around his hand. Probably going to land on a 9.5 for our edges. Take a look at these corners real quick. Nice sharp corners. Bit of piece of debris here. So this is 169. We'll see if this piece of debris is part of the card or... So you can kind of see a little bit of it there still. Take a look at this. Much cleaner. I'll clean up my fingerprints around there. Much cleaner. A little bit of imperfection, but much cleaner than it was. I still see a small amount of Again, I don't know if this is plastic or what that is. So while trying to do that, I did damage the corner. So 169 corners are going to go down to a 6.5. It did, while trying to do it, you can see there it's now at a 45 where it should be a 90-degree angle. So number 169, as I was trying to clean the card, I did create an imperfection. So 169, if you're buying, that was just a error on my side, but trying to clean a corner, and sometimes when you do it, you create a bigger issue than what it was. All right, well, we marked that at a 6.5 for the corner. That's frustrating. Sorry. These cards are very expensive, so do not want to damage them. You kind of see some fingerprints I have here on it. Need to clean those up. I think this is the third time grading this card. I've never seen a corner act that way, but yeah, surface, we will kind of see some areas around the body that need to be cleaned up. So surface will probably land on a 8. Yeah, some micro scratches. 8 feels about right on the surface. And the edges feel about at a 9. Nine on edges. So let's average out in between a 9.5 and a 6.5. Well, let's see if we can get anywhere else. We can do it in between a 9 and an 8 is an 8.5. We have an 8.5, in between an 8.5 and a 6.5 is 7.5. In between a 9.5, so 8.5. With that damaged corner, I am going to move it to an 8 for number 169. And in the notes, whenever we post this card on eBay, that corner defect will be noted in the notes to the description of the card. Any defects on any of these cards will be noted in the description of the card. Okay, so that was number 169. So now we're looking at number 170. And we'll start off with surface or centering. Centering is usually how we'll start it off. You can kind of see the space between the right side is a little heavier. You can kind of see a little tighter there on the left compared to the first two. So I'm going to give the centering a 9. Centering a 9. And then let's take a look at the edges. Pretty nice on that side. Clean, nice corner there. Nice corner there. Clean edge there. Nice corner. This was our corner in the previous card, but very clean and good looking there. Clean there. Oh, a bit of have we done the surface yet? No, we just did centering. So there's a bit of a micro scratch on the back here that we'll take into account. Off the hip is a bit of a micro scratch there. So just some issues on the surface to this card, but the corners and the edges, I'm going 9.5. And the surface will do a 9. And overall, this card, I'm going to put it at a 9.5. So this card is number 170, and we are rating it at a 9.5. That's number 170. Here comes 171. Take a closer look at that. Apple should really endorse this channel by all the Apple logo. I don't get endorsed by Apple. There's no brand deal with Apple. It's just I like the look of the metallic look. I guess I could try to find another metallic background that's not a big advertisement for Apple. I don't use this iPad anymore. It's basically a brick. So I guess this is my only use of it after so many years. I don't even know where a charging port, I could find a charging port for it. Possibly still use it. I don't. So the fact that it's a brick, the only way I can really use it is to have it in videos. This is its last stage of its life, this iPad. I can't remember what year I bought it. Anyways, we're looking at number 171 now. So far we got a 9, an 8, a 9.5, and then 171. Let's see where it lands. And we'll start off with centering because that's kind of something that I think we're getting pretty dead on with. And the centering, it's in between a 9.5 and a 9. Some micro scratches again. We'll go for the centering. It's in between the 9.5 and the 9. I'm going to go 9.5 for centering. And it's interesting. The first two are a little bit less room on the right, a little more room on the left. The second two have been a little bit more room. So we will come to a definitive answer. Let's look at the surface. So I see a little bit of micro scratching. And these cards are getting close to being 30 years old. I think it's like right here. You can kind of see a bit of it. And then down here. So those micro scratches will probably hit like an 8.5 on our surface. See if we can find anything else. No, I think 8.5 on our surface for this card is accurate. Surface 8.5. And then we'll take a look at edges and the corners next. A bit of a piece of debris here along this top edge. Let's see if we still see that. A little bit less. So some micro scratches. Did we already mark the surface on this one? Yeah, we did the surface. Oh, we're taking a look at edges right now. Okay, so edges, let's take a look on this side. This corner looks good. A little bit at the bottom there. So corner's probably going to hit a 9. Edges. Both 9 for edges and corners on this one. So we have an 8.5 and a 9.5, average out to a 9. So this one is getting a 9. So this card number is 171 and it's getting a 9. So far we have a 9, an 8, a 9.5, and a 9. And to be honest, this is all going as pretty as I thought it would go. Oh, the surface is much nicer on this one. Look at the far less micro scratches on this card. So nice. That space again is a little bit less on the left and a little bit more on the right. So we've seen that. Now this seems a little more common, but we'll get to it. A little bit of a debris here on the card. For the surface on this one, I'm probably going to go with a 9.5 because it was much cleaner than that last surface. So this is 172 now. 172 and surface getting a 9.5. The centering, we're going to go 9.5. Edges, let's take a look at our edges. Very nice. Corner up here where we had the issue before. Clean, perfect. Nice corner there. Nice corner. Check out our edges along this side. Pretty clean card overall. I like this. Sorry for slightly hitting the camera. We're going to go 9 5s across the board on this one, and a total of 9.5. So this card gets a 9-5 across the table. All right, that was a 172. If you're looking to pick that card up, it is so we have 172, we have 173 coming in now. You kind of see some micro scratches. Our surface will probably move to an 8.5 due to that. I mean, the card is almost 30 years old, so micro scratches are going to happen. So we'll just go ahead and start off with the surface to this card as an 8.5. Let's take a look at that centering. A little bit more, a little bit less. I'll go 9 on the centering. We have an 8.5 on the surface. So let's take a look at the edges and corners now. Nice. Clean. Very nice. So 9-5 on edges and corners. So that's a 9, 2 9s and a 9-5, overall 9. So that is 173. So we resulted in 1 9, 2 9, 3 9s, 3 9s, 2 9-5s, and an 8. And it'll be up on our eBay page. We'll have everything noted, the whole breakdown for each of the posting. I'll separate it into individual cards. But yeah, thank you for watching. This has been really enlightening, being able to work on, whenever I'm cleaning a corner, sometimes just leave it be. I think that was at the 169. I could have done a better job at cleaning that corner. But sometimes you make a bad move and it costs a little bit. But I think this will help other people when they're trying to clean cards, especially these acetates. So what I'm trying to do is just be a kind of, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's the whole transparency. And people sometimes will even say, hey, my card was damaged while it was being graded. Sometimes it probably is. I can't sit here and say it wasn't. It just happened to me. These are my cards. I'm trying to sell them to people at a good price, but it's going to be clearly noted in the photos. Like the video is description itself. I love these cards. I think they're great. Kobe Bryant, 1998, 1999 SkyBox. Thank you for watching. Continue to watch. Appreciate you. Have a great day.